Alright guys, back at the bench with the next in queue, and it is a super punch out. You can see by the security board. Super punch out. The boards look pretty good. There's no battery damage on this guy. No corrosion, no nonsense like that. Everything looks to be pretty decent. This board has had a few chips replaced. Nothing severe. It kind of tells me that there's got to be a video problem on this, because someone was just replacing stuff, you know, trying to, you know, shot in the dark type deal. So, and it looks like everything in here was replaced. All of this stuff, which is F-series parts, supposed to be F-series parts, looks like they were replaced with LS stuff, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We probably will have to replace all of this socketed stuff. And I never have good luck with these sockets. So I may have to remove these sockets right out of the board. And if I do, I will be soldering the chips right into the board, just to eliminate that as a problem. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll replace the sockets with, yeah, if I do, I'll just replace the sockets with better sockets, because these sockets suck. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, here's our punch out set. I got it just kind of set out like this. We'll go ahead and put it together and fire it up and see what we get. See if we get anything good coming out of this at all. So, alright, let's get to it. Okay. What is your problem? What is it? What? You got food over there, don't you? Did I not feed you? Yeah, you got food. Come on. Alright, let me, you know what I need to do is I need to, I guess, use some paper towel in between boards, maybe. Actually use some of this stuff that came, the packing that came with this, I can use. So this goes like this, and that goes like this. So let's put this guy like that. That there. Okay. And I don't necessarily love that being like that, but whatever. Put that there. This thing had just absolutely every standoff this thing had was busted. Almost. And we can use paper towel for this guy. Just like that. Okay. Okay, it's all hooked up. And let me go ahead and grab my harness stuff and get that all squared away, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are all hooked up and ready to go. Solder side, good. Everything's plugged in. Okay, let's fire it up and see what we get. I'm on the bottom monitor right now, so let's go ahead and fire it up and see what comes up. I don't have the sound hooked up at all. Okay. Looks like it's froze. I see kind of Nintendo of America, but that's about it. I think that might be copyright 1984, Nintendo of America, maybe supposed to be. Yeah. So it's failing to go forward, so I think we have a CPU board problem, and obviously we have a video board problem as well. So first thing I want to do is get the thing running. So first thing I want to do is concentrate on that CPU board, and that will consist of reseating everything. That's the first thing we'll do, is we'll just reseat all of the ROMs and go through and do that kind of stuff and see if it will come up. Okay, turn it off. Okay, so let's flip this thing over. Let's put it right like this. Okay, and boy, this thing is janky. Well, that's what it is, I guess. Let me see these. I'm just going to fire it back up after doing that and seeing if it makes any kind of a difference. Alright. Let's go ahead and just kind of reseat all of these. Check the legs and reseat all of this stuff. Corroded sockets. There's corrosion in there. Yeah, it's not looking very good. It's another very corroded socket. Okay. All right, let's fire this thing back up and see if it progresses at least. Oh, I saw something happening. No, it's just kind of stuck here again. Let's see. Hello? What are you doing? Ooh, check that out. That is a particular issue, isn't it? What a weird problem. It looks like the CPU board might actually be working now. Because I think it's running. I'm not exactly sure though. This thing is doing, this is some weirdness. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. How strange. Now he's moving over here. Yeah, I don't know. That's weirdness. That's crazy weirdness. But regardless, I think I don't know. I don't know if that's really working or not. I don't know if that's working or not, that CPU board. It's kind of doing something. I think I'll hook the sound up. You know, hook up the sound speaker or whatever. I can actually, let's look at the top monitor. Let's see if we're getting anything on the top monitor. So let me go ahead and pop this guy back up here. Right. And I'm going to hook to the top monitor. And I'm kind of getting the same crap. Let's come over here and take a look. This is the top monitor. Interesting. Okay, so that's what we're starting with, guys. A whole lot of nothing, some weirdness. I do believe I want to hook up the sound and see if we're getting sound, see if we're getting a tracked sound at all. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me do that. Let me hook up my amplifier and stuff to this. Because I want to see if we fire it up, are we getting a tracked sound? Is the CPU board really working? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it's doing anything. So we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my amplifier hooked into my system, my sound amp, so let's go ahead and fire it up. It's resetting. Resetting and jumping all over the place. Hey. Top monitor. Looks goofy. It wants to work. Some sockets. Okay. I'm going to go and say our CPU board is okay. I think the CPU board is good. What I need to do is I need to replace these sockets because they have corrosion. So, you know, 3 of them had corrosion in the sockets. This thing will never be solid with corroded sockets. These sockets suck to begin with. So weirdness. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do maintenance, and I'm going to make this board solid. I want the program to be solid, so I'm going to have to replace all of these ROM sockets because this thing is just not going to be good with those sockets. Not going to happen. So that's going to be the first order of business, is these things got to be replaced. So let's do that. Okay, so I have replaced these 5 sockets. You see the old ones are in the garbage, right? There's one, there's one, there's one right there. Yeah, so 5 new sockets. Let's go ahead and fire it up. And you'll see it boots most of the time, but sometimes it still acts funny. See, this time it's fine. Nope, reset. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on. I'm going to move on to the video board. Start playing around with the video board. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, these 4 counters, there's 4 DMA counters. I'm just going to probe those DMA counters and make sure that they look good. And then we'll move on to the video board. Okay, on this video board, upon further inspection, all of these sockets, all of the Sprite sockets have been replaced. So I've removed, and 2 of the ROMs were not even in the sockets. 2 of them were a pin shifted down. So 2 of the ROMs were not even in socket. And at least one of these guys had a bent leg. So that's an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and meticulously, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean and scrub this work. Then I'm going to meticulously beep out everything and make sure that nothing's shorted and all the connections are made. I'm going to have to scrutinize this work before I move forward. So that's the plan. Okay, first things first. Okay. All of the residual flux from the previous work has been removed, I would say. And we just take a peek. That looks like it wasn't hardly soldered. Okay. Alrighty, yeah. Could be okay. We'll have to do the beeping top side, make sure nothing's broke. You gotta make sure that there's no broken traces, no shorted traces, all that fun stuff. So let me go ahead and get my continuity meter. Okay. Oops. That's normal. Okay, that does not look like it goes through. Okay, that must be a... That row seems to be okay. So let's try this row. I did not do this side, the other side. So I do need to do that as well. Okay. Okay, those are good. Last row. Tedious. Tedious work, but necessary. You want to go on the opposite side. These are all bust. This whole first row of pins is bust. So that's good. But you want to go to the one it should be connected to, and then go on the opposite sides of it to see if it's shorted. Right? So this is for peace of mind because I didn't do this work. So, and I have to know in my head doing a repair, I have to know that this work is good. You know, I have to. This has to be eliminated as an issue. That's all good. That is all good. And you know, it's a shame that, it's really a shame that this work was done well, but two of the ROMs were not even in the socket, and then there were a couple of bent legs. I mean, if to do the work that good to where there's no shorts and everything works the way it should, to not put stuff in the right way and stuff is kind of weird. All is well. Very, very good, very good, very good. Okay. So now we're going to carefully and properly put these ROMs in this board. For you. Okay. 3R. Three T. 4R. 2T. 2U. 4T. 2R. 2V. 3V. These ROM legs are really clean, so that's nice. 3U. 8 something. Six P. These legs could use a cleaning. These are the original punch-out ROMs, and they're a little more dirty. A little bit dirty. A little bit crusty. They get that white corrosive crust junk on there. It's good to knock that stuff off. And this is the one with the bent leg. Okay, that takes care of that. Really quick like. Finish putting these babies in here. Alright, make sure our legs are good and straight. Okay. 6N. And last but not least, $6P. And there we go. Okay. Excellent. I really dislike this stuff right here. Not the proper chips. And these sockets are terrible. So if we get really flakiness and problems with the size of the character and the position of the bad guy, you know, of would-be Glass Joe or whoever, you know, Bear Hugger or whatever. If we get bad positioning and zooming effects and stuff like that, this stuff will have to be, it's going to have to make it solid, this is going to have to be dealt with anyway. Because these sockets are terrible. And these are not the right chips. So, we'll look at that. Okay, this is better. This is verified to be good. All of the legs are in socket, in circuit. 2 of these ROMs were not even in circuit. So, you know, yeah. And what I want to do is I want to look at this back PCB as well. Let's just take a quick look at it. There's no sockets been replaced on it. But let's make sure that these legs are in the sockets. That one's a little bent funny. Okay, good. I really like always straightening these legs. I don't like them to be crooked. Okay. Okay. That all looks okay. All right. This board looks nice. Okay. Now we're ready to hook this thing all back up and see what happens. So let me cut away for a little bit, get everything hooked up, and we'll be back.